Hello, and welcome to Drag Race Stats and to my final new series, which is gonna be called Ranked, where I of course rank different stuff from RuPaul's Drag Race. And in this one, I'm gonna rank all the seasons, and it's only the season judged and hosted by RuPaul herself. Okay, so you can see here, I put all the seasons in tier maker, and I created different ranks, or whatever you want to call it, tier list, I guess it's called. So we have the top here, Your Winner Baby, then we have High, then we have Meh, then we have Low, and then we have Mama, This Is Garbage. And I'm gonna rank them like from worst to best. So there's also gonna be one worst and one best season, of course. So if you just start off with season 1 here. Season 1 is of course very different from all the other seasons. It is the first one. It is also called the Forgotten season. Even though it has a lot of like iconic queens like Angina, Chanel, and BB. And of course Tammy Brown. And Porkchop being the first ever queen to eliminate it, still hasn't come back. The challenges are just very different from what we know today. Like the girl group was very different. Like each queen had like a certain field that they had to work with. So there was one who had hair, one had makeup, one had outfits, and one had choreography, which is just so unfair to have someone only work on the hair and then somebody to work on all the choreography. So it's very different back then. I think watching it again, it is hard to watch, of course, with the filter and everything, but it is still very iconic and very entertaining, I would say. So I think I'm still gonna put it in high for now. And I can, of course, like move things around later, and I probably will. Maybe I will go down to mid. Because right now it's gonna be like a between here, I would say. So we put it here for now. Then we have season 2. I think the problem with some of these early seasons like 2, 3, and 4 is that the untucked portions of them are way more funny than the actual seasons because the queens just go off like they don't care. The show is not that popular back then, of course, and they're not getting attacked online by fans when they say something. So I think I'm gonna put season 2 in meh for that reason, and season 3 is gonna be low because I really don't like season 3. I think it's very, very hostile. Like the whole boogers versus heathers, I never really vibed with. Like I always found it very stupid and very off-putting. But then we have season 4. Again, a lot of fights here, but we also have some really nice queens like Willem and Chad Michaels I enjoy, and of course Latrice Royale. But it's also just been so much with that. So I think it's gonna go in meh, I think, but over season 2. Because it is a bit better than season 2, I would say. So yeah, it's gonna put there. Season 5 is definitely one of the best. It's gonna go in the top tier here, that's for sure. And the same with season 6 is even gonna surpass it, because I did watch season 6 some time ago, and I was like reminded of how good it was. I was like surprised of how entertained I was. I had kind of forgotten how good this season actually is, and I don't think a lot of seasons has surpassed that yet. Season 7 is, people say it's boring. It has a lot of like acting challenges and a lot of queens who are not very good at that, and it also has one of the worst challenges, of course, being the Shakespeare one. But it's the cast that's so iconic with Trixie and Katja and Jasmine Masters, Kennedy, Violet, Pearl, Miss Fame. Like there's so many good queens on this season. And that brings it up a lot, I would say. So I am going to put it in high. It's not going to go in top tier though. Season 8 is the first season that I watched, and Naomi Smalls is the first queen that I saw, and I immediately fell in love. So it is going to go over season 7 here. I don't think it's as good as 5 and 6 are, but it's definitely up there. So it's gonna be like in the middle between these two here. Definitely, because I just love this season so much and has so many good challenges, I would say, like the Ruku Empire and the girl group, and one of maybe the best Snatch Game performances. I don't think there are that many bad performances. I think there were only the bottom 3 who did bad in that one, so I think that was really good. Then we come to another stellar one, which is of course season 9. I think it's also gonna go up here. I think is it gonna surpass season 5? Oh, it's very close, but I'm not sure. You know what? Actually, I think it is. Yeah, take a bit of a dip here with season 10. It got very boring, I would say. There was a lot of weird challenges in this one. The Rusical, the Farmer Rusical was so out of place, and then they also had the Cher Rusical, was just not very good because the queens, a lot of them didn't know how to embody Cher, which is awful. But I was still thinking it's better than the early season, so I am gonna put it at top of meh, which I think I'm gonna move season 1 down here, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. See, I told you it was gonna happen. Yeah, that seems fine really. Season 11 is, it's a bit of a rough one, I would say. There was a lot of weird choices in this season. Silky Nutmeg Ganache getting way too much screen time and just being so obnoxious and annoying. Of course, that's a persona that she puts on because in the other seasons she's not like that at all. So she does it because she's on TV, and good for her. I mean, she made that for herself. That's really, really great. But it was just too much for me. But I think it is better than season 10. Of course, it's better than season 10. So yeah, it will go here. I think that makes sense to me. Season 12 is one of my favorites, so it's gonna go up here. So many good challenges, so many great queens here. I really, really love it so much. There is a bit of rigging towards Britta and Widow. Other than that, I think it's so good. I think it's gonna surpass season 5, just because season 5 is an older season. And half of the cast is very forgotten. And then we have the very, very iconic other half of the cast, of course. So yeah, I think it makes sense to put it there. Season 9. Yeah, maybe also season 9. Yeah, I think that makes sense, actually. I don't know, I'm not sure. I'll get back to that later. Then we have season 13, which also kind of takes a dip here because of, firstly, the first episode where we see all the lip syncs, which just goes on for way too long, and it's not very exciting to keep seeing them being so surprised that they're being sent home, which they are not. Also just think there are some weird eliminations here with Tina Burner and Tamisha Iman. Maybe also Denali. Olivia's like a down trajectory at the end, which also doesn't really make sense to me. So I think it is gonna be low, but past season 3. We also have Rosé and Simone who like brings it up, but there's also the constant issue with Candy Muse, so actually yeah, it makes sense to put it there. But opposite of Silky, Candy is just like this, which we've also seen on season All-Stars 8, so it makes sense to put it there, I think. Then we have season 14. I'm actually currently watching season 14 and I am very entertained. I think it's a very, very good season, very strong queens. The problem is it's just way too long and there are way too many episodes where no one goes home, so it gets a very stale. Like I think it's 7 episodes where no one goes home, right? Because we have the two first episodes where Daya and Orion are eliminated, but then they come back. So that's, yeah, already there. Then we have Daytona Wind where no one goes home because everyone does so good. I guess they want us to believe, even though there's a clear bottom 3, the queens were being safe. And then we suddenly have a double Shantae between Jasmine and Georges. Then Bosco gets the chocolate, the golden chocolate bar, and then Angeria and Willow Pill also has a double Shantae. Oh yeah, and then there's also Snatch Game, the episode where no one goes home until the next episode with the lip sync. So yeah, 7 episodes. That is crazy. So all of that is gonna bring the season down a little bit, I would say, but I still think it's going to be high. And this is hard because I've seen season 7 and 8 so many times that I'm thinking like, what season would I want to see again? And probably not these two because I've seen them so many times. And season 14 I've only seen once, and right now watching it for the second time. So it's hard to say where between these 3 it's gonna go. But I think maybe here in the middle. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Then we have season 15. Another season I've only watched once so far. I am gonna watch it when I'm done with 14. I think it's an okay season. There is just a lot of obvious things happening here. Sugar, Spice, lip syncing against each other, Sasha Colby winning, Mistress and Lux making it to the finale, and Nitra being the top 2 queen. Like, there's a lot of obvious things here, and a lot of questionable wins, and even some eliminations, I would say. I think it's gonna go on top of meh for that reason, because also the mistreatment of Lucy is also just only for TV pleasure, which is just meh. So I think it makes sense to put it there. There aren't that many iconic challenges either here. There is the Daytona Wind Part 2, which is just not as good as the first one. The editing there is very weird. I know that's the point of it, but it's just meh. I think the only good challenge is like the Rusical. It's not the only good one, but it's just... The talent show was also very good, actually. The Snatch Game was not. It was way too big, too many people. And then Sugar and Spice absolutely demolishing it. In a bad way, I mean. Then we actually have one of my... I would probably say one of my favorite seasons here. Season 16, the newer ones. It's definitely gonna go... Is it gonna go past season 6? It's very, very close. I actually think it is, because I think it's such a good season. I really, really love it so much because of Plain Jane, Sapphire Crystal, Plasma, Nymphia Wind, Dawn, Morphine. Like, there's so many good queens. Of course, also season 6, but they also just have some annoying moments, I would say. So I think 16 will surpass it, actually. It's very, very close, that's for sure. But yeah, I think it will. Then we get to the All-Star season. I have not included season 17 because currently making this video, this season is not over yet. So we don't know how it's going to go. So All-Stars 1, probably the best cast there is, except for Mimi on first. But the worst twist ever with the teams. And it was also just being 6 episodes, which is just crazy how short it is. So that's gonna bring it down a lot. But it's also just so iconic in a way. But no, it won't go in high. It will go in meh. And it will go probably here, I think makes sense. Because there are also some weird challenges with the where they go outside and have to do like pranking people, which has nothing to do with Drag Race and nothing to do with being a drag queen. And then they're like they're judged on a point system that we never see. So it's just so incredibly easy to rig this challenge. But then we're gonna go to All-Stars 2, which is probably my favorite All-Star season and also one of my favorite seasons. It's of course again the iconic cast of season 5. I think it's gonna go. Is it the maybe it is number 1 actually still, because it is so fucking good. Also just the queens eliminating each other, which is, you know, but you can think of what you want, but it's not rigged. I mean, of course, the winning and bottom 2 placement can be rigged, and there are a few that are, of course. Tatiana having a bottom 2 with the ad when it should have been Detox. Alaska being safe in the Rusical when she should have been in the bottom. Yeah, stuff like that. But otherwise, I think it's just so fucking good. So yeah, it's probably gonna be number 1 for now. Then we get to All-Stars 3. It's definitely not my favorite season. Some annoying challenges here. Those are some very good ones, but like the last acting challenge makes no sense. It's just like a spoof movie, everything cramped together. It's really, really weird. But we also have the very, very good challenge here with the divas and the Bachelor, the challenge show. There are a lot of good ones, but I just never really connected with it for some reason. I don't really know why. So I think I can put it as the lowest place at high, I would say. Moving on to All-Stars 4, it's one of the first seasons that I watched in real time. That one and season 11. Probably more into All-Stars 4 than season 11. So I think it will probably go. I think it is better than All-Stars 3. I do liking it a bit more, also because of Naomi Smalls is in it, of course. And Valentina. Trinity I didn't really care that much for in season 9, but when I watched All-Stars 4, I like my eyes opened up for her, I would say. And Monet and Mo is just so funny, both of them. And Latrice and Manila I didn't know at the time, but I also really, really liked them on the season. So I think it makes sense to put it here. Yeah. All-Stars 5 is probably one of the worst seasons. I think I'm gonna put it here, honestly. Because this cast is just not very memorable, with Mariah, India, Derek, Mayhem, and Blair are all just very like, why are you here? And also there's this whole drama with India lying to the other queens, and then Alexis being unfairly eliminated, and yeah. I watched it twice, I'm never gonna watch it again. It's just so sad because Shea Coulee is one of my favorite queens, and Miss Cracker and Angina also just huge fans of. So it's just very, very sad that they were on this season, and it went so awful that did. But of course, Shea winning is everything, even though she didn't really deserve it. At least for this season, of course, she should have won season 9. But then we move on to All-Stars 6, which is again one of my favorite seasons. It's so good, so many iconic challenges with the halftime show. The show up queen is one of my favorite girl group challenges. Oh my god, I listen to that song so much. I really love it. So it's gonna be very, very hard to place this year. I don't know if it's gonna go at the end of high or a winner, baby. It could also, oh, this is so hard. You know, I'm gonna place it here and I'm gonna come back to it later. Moving on to All-Stars 7. When I first watched it, I thought it was a bit boring because no one went home and there was a lot of episodes. And we only saw the positive critiques, which is just repetitive and boring, I would say. But then watching All-Stars 9, I think it got better in that way because now we're used to the non-elimination and stuff like that. So now I think it's actually very, very good. Of course, it's all winners, which is just so great to see, and everyone does so well all the time. We have some amazing runways, some amazing Snatch Game performances and acting challenges. The only thing that's too bad is that Shay is not really checked in for this season, and I don't know why. I think maybe it's because of the rigging that they were talking about of the show, so it could have been that. But for that reason, it is not gonna be in Winner Baby. It is probably gonna be in High, and I'm gonna place it here, I think, for now. We'll see. All Stars 8 is unfortunately not very good. It's not as bad as All Stars 5, I would say, but it is probably gonna be here. Because it's very, very sad because Jimbo wins and I really like Jimbo. But we're gonna have Candy Muse back and she's top 2, so she's there for the whole season. And we also just have some weird challenges, like the first one, the girl group is not very good, and then Kahana wins for some reason. I don't understand why. And then we have the Oddly Alive, which Mrs. Kasha David doesn't win, which doesn't make sense. And then she gets unfairly eliminated over Darian in the ball. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things happening. And then the Fame games that are rigged. Yeah, so it makes sense to place it there. All Stars 9 I actually really, really like. I think it's a great cast. I think we have some amazing runways from, of course, Plastique and Gottmik, and also just Angeria. So yeah, I really, really like this. And also Angeria winning, I think, is correct. And I don't think it's controversial at all, as I also said in my videos. So I think it is gonna be high placement, but probably not. It's not one of the best ones, but I do fairly enjoy it, I would say. So I think it's gonna go maybe behind All Star 7, because I do think that one is a little bit better. Then we get to UK seasons, and we have some really, really good ones and some really bad ones, I would say. UK one is definitely one of the better ones, and I think it can go maybe in top tier. Nah, maybe not. No, I think it's gonna go at the very high here. Yeah. And then I think UK 2 is actually gonna go up here at the end, because it is very, very rigged, and I think it's one of the most rigged seasons, but I still enjoy it so much, probably because of the cast and the challenges with Lawrence and Taze and Ahura and Tia. I mean, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. Oh, and Bimini, I cannot forget her. It's really awesome. Moving on to UK 3 is definitely not very good. I think, is it gonna go all the way down? Maybe will be, because I've only watched this season once and I don't really want to watch it again. I think Crystal winning is so fucking stupid over Day, and the mistreatment of Charity Case is just insane. The double sachet from Snatch Game where River and Teresa shouldn't even have been in the bottom for Snatch Game. No, so UK 4 is a little bit better, but it's still not very good. It's also a season that I don't really want to watch again, to be honest. But I do think it can go maybe here. I can go at the top of low. I think that makes sense. But UK 5, I think they really found their groove again. So many great queens on this one, and a lot of them got a win, which was really impressive. And then, of course, they also got early eliminated because they kind of had to. So that was really, really crazy to see. So I think it is gonna go in high, or it could go no. I think it's gonna go in high. It definitely can. It can go up here. I think that makes sense to put it here. Yeah. And then we have UK 6, which is also one of my favorite seasons, newer ones, that's for sure. So I definitely think it's going to be in the top tier, because I really, really love this season. Is it better than UK 2? I'm not sure. Moving on to UK versus the World Season 1. Again, one of the best casts, for sure. Pangina, Jimbo, Bagga, Blue, Janie, Jujubee, and Mo. Lemon, who unfortunately gets sent home the first episode. Oh yeah, not Cheryl too. She was the only one that I wasn't that excited to watch, to be honest. So yeah, stellar cast. Challenges were a little bit weird. I think the Rusical was not the best here. I don't really like when they do this one at a time character thing. I like it when they have more of a story in them. And the problem is the queen's eliminations, of course, them always eliminating the stronger queen, except for Cheryl, but all the other episodes were. So that's gonna bring it down, unfortunately. So I don't think it's gonna go in high. Even though I do enjoy this season, I kind of want to watch it again. I have watched it twice, and I probably could watch it again. So I think maybe I'm gonna do this, because I don't really feel the need to watch All Stars 3 again, to be honest. So I think it's gonna go like this. It could even go past here. UK vs. the World Season 2 is definitely one of the better ones. Like, such a great top 4 here with Marina, Laguandam, Tia, and Hannah. Amazing challenges. The runways, the ball was amazing. The talent show was so good. The rusical, oh my god. The roast, maybe not the best, but it's not really fair to have a roast and a Snatch Game performance with the queens who don't speak English as their first language. So for those two, I think it's gonna go here. I think that makes sense. It is definitely one of the better ones. Then we get to Down Under, and I have not enjoyed any of the Down Under seasons. So season 1 is definitely gonna be probably the worst one, and season 3 as well. But season 1 is worse than season 3. Season 2 is a bit better, but it's still lacking something. I just don't know what it is. So I think it's gonna go here. Oops, there we go. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And then we have Global All-Stars, which is unfortunately also a very bad season here because of the rigging. I love the queens on it. Like, that's awesome. It's almost like an all-winner season because they're almost all of them are finalists, so they are good at a lot of different stuff. It's just a problem again with international queens who don't speak English as their first language. They're not gonna do as well in acting, Snatch Game, and roasting challenges. And that's nothing on them. That's just how it is. But it's just sad that we have so many of these challenges on a season like this. And of course, also just the favoritism of the Ru girls, Kitty, Queen, and Alyssa. It just sucks so much, especially in that acting challenge where all 3 of them are in the top when they should have been safe at most. So that is gonna bring it down. Also just very obvious that Alyssa was going to win the season. It's definitely not a season that I wish to watch again. So I think it's gonna go... I think it's gonna go here because I'm inclined to watch UK4 again. I'm not entirely sure. So I think it's gonna go there. And then last we have the Secret Celebrity Drag Race Season 2, which is actually quite enjoyable. It's not that bad. It's just the wrong winner. That's like the only thing I can put my finger on. Other than that, I quite enjoy it, even though it is maybe a little bit boring that they always do the same thing every episode, like with the lip sync performances, because then they also have Snatch Game. So then they could also have done like girl groups and maybe even a rusical. So they could have done a bit more things, so that's why it's probably gonna go on top of me. I think that makes sense. And now looking at it, I'm gonna maybe switch some placements around, and I am gonna look at it in that way. Is it something that I want to watch again? Okay, so that's it. I just moved a few things around, not too much, but I think this makes sense to me. So my favorite season is still All Stars 2, and the worst season is Down Under 1. I think that makes total sense, actually. Yeah, I like this list a lot. So tell me what you think. Do you agree, disagree? I am sure you have at least one opinion that is not the exact same as mine. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was very fun to make, and I'll just see you next time. Bye bye. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also check out my other channel where I make gaming and Pokemon Go content. See you next time. Bye bye.